Welcome to another episode of the Jones Underground YouTube channel. Today we're going to be discussing the Yamaha S08, another piece of vintage gear that I've had for a few years. I got this from a legendary jazz musician, Chris Wine, who's now operating out of New York City. Before he moved from St. Louis, he sold this to me for not a lot of money. It had a few issues as far as the buttons not working. The selected wheel does work still, so I can still have access to all the sounds. I've used this not only as a production keyboard, but also as a MIDI controller for my Korg Triton and Yamaha MX49. This keyboard has been very reliable as far as the keys still work. They are excellent as far as the feel. I think they use like a real key bed as far as the piano key bed for this. This keyboard is heavy. It's built like a tank. It's like almost 65 pounds. So it's not something I carry around. It's not something I gig with personally. But it's just a wonderful keyboard as far as the things that I use it for. It is being sold. It's being replaced by a Roland RD88, and then I use a Studio Logic Numa Compact 2 as a MIDI controller for the Korg Triton because it has aftertouch. And so that's the reason I've come to the hard reality that I do need to sell it and make room for the RD88 that I have. This thing is, like I said, built like a tank. It's very reliable. The keys still play. It's a wonderful keyboard, especially if you like playing on older keyboards. I'm going to, get some demos going, and I hope you guys enjoy. All right, those were some demos. Surprisingly, the sounds, even though they're 40 years old or 30 years old, they're pretty good. They're relatively good for a keyboard that age. No, they're not modern sounds. I usually use this as a MIDI controller for the Korg Triton and the Yamaha MX that I have. What happened was I got the Numa Compact from Studio Logic, and it has aftertouch, which is what kind of made this keyboard, relegated it to the basement, so to speak. I still like playing on it because it's old, and I like playing on my vintage keyboards. But as far as using it in the studio setting, I don't do it so much because I got a newer keyboard that does that. While the keyboard doesn't have aftertouch, it's just built like a tank. If you hook a laptop or you hook it into an interface, whatever you're doing, this keyboard, as far as a set of keys that you're playing on, is built like a tank. It's not going anywhere. You can't really hurt it. I've dropped it and the keys all still play. This keyboard was gigged mercilessly by the musician I got it from. And then when he wasn't playing, gigging with it, he was teaching lessons on it because he taught me on it. So I know the keyboard has gone through its paces. So it's just wonderful. If you don't have another keyboard, if you need something that's reliable, especially if you're gigging and you have rack mounted modules or anything that connects to 5-pin MIDI, this keyboard is a good thing to have, especially if, like you said, you're a touring musician or you need something that's solid in the studio that's not going to break from you banging and beating on it. I've loved it. I've had this thing for about 3 years now. It's been an awesome keyboard for me, but I can't have this and a Roland RD and a Studio Logic, all 88 key keyboards that do what that thing does. So I might be getting rid of it soon. But thank you so much for watching the video. If you have any questions or any concerns, I look forward to hearing from you, and we will see you again next time.